Hi, I'm Sarah Martin, and I'm so glad that you've joined me for my first week in a video Bible study on the book of James. I have decided that I love the book of James because it is a short book, but it is so packed with many truths within every chapter, within every paragraph, and within every sentence. And it just seems so compact yet so impactful. So I'm glad you've joined me. Every Wednesday for the next 5 weeks, I will be posting a video blog, one on each chapter of the book of James. And in the comments section, I will also be posting just a few thought-provoking questions. And I hope that you will join in on this Bible study by watching the video and then also placing your answers as a comment to the questions that I posed, and maybe we can get some conversation going and create a dialogue around this chapter, that particular chapter of the book of James, or that particular topic that we are discussing on the video. So let's get started. Of course, we got to start with chapter 1. And I hope that you would take the time to read the whole chapter, chapter 1. And you'll notice it's not very long. Like I said, James, the book of James is not very long. But I think you'll enjoy the first couple of verses that we're going to cover in this first chapter of James. So I will go ahead and read it. And I'm just going to read through verse 4 to start out with. James, servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes in the dispersion, greetings. Verse 2. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and this is the important part, and let the steadfastness have its full effect on you, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. The other day, I read a really interesting tweet on Twitter by a pastor from Life Church in Oklahoma. His name's Craig Groeschel, and I believe I'm saying his last name correctly, but if I'm not, forgive me. But it was just so timely that I had to share this with you. He says about that phrase where it says, God won't give you more than you can handle. And his response to that phrase is not true. God gives you more than you can handle, so you can depend on him. I just love that. And that's why today I want to camp out just for a few minutes on verses 2 through 4. And I'll read that just real quickly again. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. A couple years ago, I was struck with a fear. And really, the fear was unfounded. There was no reason in the world why I should be fearing this particular thing. And it just came out of nowhere. I was just stricken. And then, sure enough, a couple months later, God allowed, actually, that fear to basically come true. And I had to work through that fear and go through one of the greatest trials in my life. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. But I had to face that fear, and it was a trial. And what I love about verse 2, it says, count it all joy, brothers, when you meet various trials of various kinds. At first, when I read that verse, count it all joy, how in the world can we count trials joy? When they're not fun, like I said, they're scary. They might be uncomfortable. They might be hard. But here it says, count it all joy, because in verse 4, it says, let the steadfastness that you gain from going through the trial, let the steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. And I think what I learned that through that trial was that I could depend on God to push me through that fear and to push me through that trial. And my faith deepened in such a way that would never, ever have happened had I not gone through that trial. So I can honestly say that I can find joy after the fact that I went through that trial, that God allowed that trial to come upon me, and so I would face that fear and grow closer to Him. Now, you may think I'm crazy by saying, how can we find joy in trials? But really, I mean, it's after the fact that we see this. But then once we go through various trials in our life and we see how God works through those trials and how we change and how we grow and how we move closer to Him, then the next time that trial comes around or another trial comes around, because this life is going to be full of trials. It's not perfect. We all know that. Then we can start out in that trial when it comes upon us. Then we can move through that trial knowing that there is some good that will come out of it. Whatever it is. I mean, we don't know, but there will be something good that comes out of it, especially because we're growing closer to God through those trials. The other day, I was just thinking, as I was reading these verses, and I was just thinking, Lord, life is pretty good right now for me. I mean, things are going okay. And I got this fear, oh no, when's the other shoe going to drop? When's that bomb going to be thrown back on my life? And I read that verse 4, and it said, and let steadfast have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete. And let steadfastness have its full effect. Let that trial have its full effect. And I kind of felt this little phrase okay, God, and I'm not one to test the Lord, but this is in an attitude of, okay, God, this is, I can do this through you. I said to Lord, bring it on. Whatever trial you want me to face, whatever you're going to allow to come into my life, bring it on. Because my past experience, I have found joy at the end, or maybe through, who knows, but I have the joy in the end is from knowing that I grew closer to you. And that's just what I said to the Lord, bring it on. So I pray for you that if you are going through a trial right now, find some way to open your eyes to maybe the bigger picture. It might be hard, but open your eyes to the bigger picture that in the end, God has something that you will learn from this trial, and know that there will be joy in that because you've grown and you've found joy in the Lord too. If you're not in a trial right now, I pray that you do just what I did. If you're kind of thinking, okay, when's it going to happen, Lord? And then you start to get panicky. Change that panic to confidence in God, saying, Lord, bring it on, because I know that something cool is going to come out of it in the end. So I hope that this is encouraging to you, and I hope that you continue to read through chapter 1. It's an interesting chapter, and I'm going to post just a few questions in the comment section, and I hope that you'll take a few minutes to let me know your thoughts, and we can just discuss it online. So look forward to another video next Wednesday on chapter 2, of course, and I'm so glad that you've taken the few minutes to join me, and I will see you next week. Have a good day. Bye.